Anyway, basically, they've been threatening us with many a Star Wars movie for some time. One of those movies seemingly is cancelled by now, which is Patty Jenkins and Rogue Squadron. One of the ones which looked like it wouldn't be doing anything was the Damon Lindelof movie, because it's Damon Lindelof with an activist directing it in Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who is literally an activist. That's what she's best known for. So this kind of came out of nowhere, but then this World of Real article basically says, hey, look, we can report exclusively that Damon Lindelof's Star Wars movie set in the sequel trilogy era, which is an important element, because what they're trying to do is tell you it's not sequel trilogy, just the sequels. It's the era of the sequel trilogy. So it's the same time setting period, meaning those characters are going to be in this film, right? That's moving ahead and actually begins production in April, which sounds bloody terrible. It's got a new set of leads, but again, it's Disney, so member berries come in, and Disney trilogy individuals will make an appearance. And then they also say how, look, I thoughts on this, because to me, this is, well, I mean, it's awful. Damon Lindelof's terrible. He's an awful, awful writer. Not a good writer by any stretch. And more recently, he's not done anything of note recently. The last thing he did, I think, was The Watchmen as a writer. And then aside of that, he's been doing some producing, but he's not really been doing anything. So I hand it on over to you, Tom. You like a bit of Star Wars news. I know you do. You love Star Wars. You're all about it. So yeah, Tom. Unless he's passed away. Tom's gone.
No. As far as the Damon Lindelof stuff, I'll believe it when I see actual behind the scenes footage, or at least some pictures, maybe that are not doctored in some way.
What do you mean, doctored in some way?
That actually come from a reputable source,
and which we've heard for a while now. This isn't just from World of Real. Like, this is something which we've. I mean, let's let's posit it as a thought experiment. Then Damon Lindelof writing this. What do you think? Good or bad? Good or bad?
Bad. Damon Lindelof couldn't write his way out of a paper bag.
Well, yeah.
The only reason I could see there could be any truth to this is Iger came back on the scene and he knows they need something, and he was the end all be all of Star Wars when he was there, because he said the buck stops with me now when he pushed KK to the back. So in this sense, I believe it when I see it, but I wouldn't be surprised just because they need something going.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think personally, terrible news. Even just as a thought experiment, it's terrible.
I have no faith in it. No.
well, the interesting element is that is this Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who is literally an activist. Known, she's a feminist activist basically. So she tries to write from that sort of angle. Now she's not writing this. She's only the director, but directors obviously have a say. Sometimes they have massively with Lucasfilm anyway. Each time the directors come on board, they've been able to just sort of cross things off and kind of do what they want. I mean, I just think this is awful. But it screams of the desperation that they're in, because, to get Damon Lindelof back, who, I mean, he's done nothing for ages, so long. And I'm looking at this now and I'm like, well, what was the last thing he did where he was the writer? Because he's not done that much. He wrote The Hunt, which I actually quite liked, which was that a funny satirical movie. I quite enjoyed that film. I thought that was pretty decent. But aside from that, I mean, you're looking at The Watchmen, which was panned. People didn't like it.
Right.
And then The White Exploit. he did characters, but that was in 2018. And then it goes way back, The Leftovers, 2014, 2017, 2015, Tomorrowland, way back to where he was starting to fade off into obscurity. And then he just, again, you're looking at like 2012's Prometheus from there, and Star Trek Into Darkness. I mean, he's a terrible writer. He's very much that whole, mystery box, and transplanting that form of writing into the Star Wars universe, I think is just going to be awful.
We kind of saw how it turned out.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, well, but that's the funny thing, isn't it? So you've got all these people. J.J. Abrams, obviously, mystery box. You've got Damon Lindelof, part of the J.J. Abrams sort of group. You are right. Like that is how it turns out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Paul.
Unless you're Ryan Johnson and you're just going to burn the bridges, like that's really the other two choices.
Yeah, well, you could be. Yeah, could be. What do you think on this, Paul? I haven't heard from you, mate.
Well, there are rumors, and yeah, it is headed by World of Real. Star Wars is just in bad shape, right?
Massively bad shape.
Awesome. Obviously, they haven't had a decent film success, not monetary wise. Just as a film. Probably everyone's favorite is Rogue One, from Disney. But what's weird is that the next sentence in the story. And I'm kind of agreeing with Tom. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Obviously, with Andor being a huge success,
are you feeling all right?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, with Andor being such a huge success for Disney, both critical and commercially, I'm like, what?
It wasn't. Was it?
No, that's what the line says. That's what's in the story.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's the next line. That's why I'm kind of agreeing with you, Tom, on this.
Critically, perhaps. I can't speak to that. But as far as there's no hiding the fact that this is one of their lowest viewed shows. Yeah.
So, if you take this with a grain of salt, as I said on another website as well, it just sounds horrible. I mean, they're toying around with the idea of bringing back the old people, not the old, like the Rey and all that stuff. Wow, man, that would be a disaster. If you're gonna have new characters, that would be kind of cool, but like have them 100 years in the future, like nobody. I don't want to know anyone from those fools. I don't want to see no blue milk. I don't want to see no. I don't want to see no freaking tauntauns on, what are the horses riding on starships? I don't want to see any of that shit. I don't even want to see. I don't even want to see the desert. Put us in a Jedi training facility in a faraway forest planet where they're just trying to relearn the Force again with all cool people and powerful and all that stuff. But the creatives here just sound awful.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
This is about how much faith I have in Damon Lindelof. As you pointed out, Watchmen, Tomorrowland, Star Trek Into Darkness, Prometheus, Lost. Need I go on? A bunch of things you've never heard of. Except for Crossing Jordan. I think a few people liked Crossing Jordan. He worked on 35 episodes
thing,
of that.
Isn't it? Like it goes to show just how big a part of kind of Hollywood he was for a while, because he was really involved in quite a lot of stuff. He was the next it guy, and then I think they soon realized they were like, oh yeah, people really hate him. Actually, he's a shit writer. Like, we're not going to pay this guy anymore. No. So yeah, not good. I thought we'd cover this anyway, because this is one of these kind of prevailing things that keeps popping up every now and then. The Damon Lindelof one, and it's just interesting. But what I'm
surprised he didn't write Batman v Superman while he's at it. I mean, shit.
Well, let's be honest. I think Lindelof and his people probably slipped out the rumor here. They probably wrote some of this.
That's what I'm curious about too, Paulie, right? Like how much of this is actually Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like how
Yeah.
much of this is actually real and how much is this hopeful bullshit?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
To
you're
me,
completely right.
I think I think I'm a look. I'm a diehard Star Wars guy. You know, the old stuff I get and all that stuff. We had a great unboxing where I got some old Star Wars stuff. So I'm always gonna believe, even though I don't want to drink no blue leche, that the Mandalorian is going to be decent to really good, and that's really all I got right now. I do love Andor, but it was like the worst possible timing for that television series, and everything else is pretty forgettable.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.